Good morning, Friday morning, Garden of England, the end of our first week of the goal setting process. You might just see there the sun shining on the wonderful Canterbury Cathedral, but I'm out here on the field, so let's get started. So as you know, yesterday, if you watched yesterday's, then we get to the final spoke, the spiritual spoke, and I get cut off. Who knew that a WhatsApp coming in would cut you off? But that's what happened. But then I suppose our attitude would be, well, why did I get cut off for you? Then I'm going to suggest that if you're 15 years young, 25, 35, there's probably a good chance that spirituality won't be a big thing in your life. But then when you get 45, 55, 65, 75, it seems to show up a bit more into our consciousness. So anyway, so if spirituality is not important to you, then replace it with something else. And of course, if it is, then how are you scoring on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of your alignment to it, your kind of commitment to it, to learn and grow with it? Anyway, moving on. So the whole idea of the wheel of life now is to join up all those little marks you've got on the spokes to see the shape, as it were, of your life at this point. And obviously it's kind of no-brainer where you've got real low scores might be an area where you could be setting some goals. But this is only the beginning of the process. It's all about getting to understand where you are now in your life. Next week we get into changing, moving forward, but just now is acknowledging where we are. So having done that work, you'll know that you by now needed a notebook. And if you're only finding this now, then make sure you get a notebook over the weekend and go back through each of the 4 steps up till now. And obviously align them with what we do next week to catch up. But anyway, today, still in this theme of where we are standing now in our lives, then what I want you to do here is to take 2 pages, put a line down the middle, and on one side of one of these columns, I want you to begin to write down your gratitude lists. And what you can think about is go back through that wheel of life and take each of spoke in turn and actually write down in that area of your life, what are you currently grateful for? Because unless you start from a place of gratitude, really are realising just how lucky, how special, how amazing life is at the moment, then how on earth will you be able to move forward into creating much more amazing things you'll end up being grateful for? But the starting point is a gratitude list. Really work on it. So you take each one of them in turn. So your primary relationship thing, what are you grateful for? And so the column down the left hand side of a page is the actual thing that you're grateful for. Right hand side, why are you grateful? Capture a few keywords and just going deeper. You're doing a bit of a workshop on yourself. You're getting to really understand where you are now. You've got a wheel of life scored. You're now working on gratitude. It's such a powerful starting point. What are you genuinely grateful for in your life in each of those spokes? And then once you've done all 12 spokes, then if other things come into your mind that are not part of that you're grateful for, then slip them in, get them in there. And then so that brings us to the end of the first 5 days of the process. And remember, right now, this is what happens. You can intellectually begin to think, well, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that. And so you think you've done it just by thinking it. No, it's by writing it out, by going deeper into the whys, that you start to uncover the things that really will matter going forward. Because what's going on just now is your source, whatever that means for you, is about to get to work, really get to work, to uncover for you your top 7 goals. It's part of the end of the process. But if you take shortcuts here and you kind of like intellectualise and don't do it, then you're not going to do what matters once you've got the goals identified. And so what you need to do this weekend is you need to go, and if you've been with me before on this, you'll know the power of this, you need to go and buy, if you haven't got them, bin bags. Next week, a full 5 days of clearing out the past. In your home right now, well, we'll talk about it on Monday, in your environment, in your office and all this stuff, is just endless piles of the past. And if you don't get the past out the way, how on earth can you bring in a future? Some people are choking with the past, no space for any future. So, big weekend, getting out there and getting yourself the necessary bin bags. Not only the necessary bin bags, but thinking about it as the week goes on and you start filling them up. Where are you going to store them till you can get them out? Some will have to go to, one would imagine, what we call the dump. And some of it might be going to charity. Some of it you might already have figured out that you know someone who could benefit anyway. You've been in touch with them. Some you might actually sell. And that would be good. That might create some cash. You can use that cash for charity if you want. You can obviously buy yourself a little treat. That might be quite cool, just to kind of acknowledge that you've gone from the past and you're moving into the now towards the future. The bin bag thing is a huge part. We'll explain it all as we go through next week. And in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful weekend. And if the weekend's catching up with the first 4 days and this day today with the process, then enjoy that. You know, trust the process. This process has worked for me for over 35 years now. It just is amazing, but we're extending it into 4 weeks rather than 4 days, and inevitably, if you can't find the 4 weeks to do it, then you can always go back to the tried and trusted 4-day process, which is on here on my YouTube channel too. Have a cracker, have an amazing weekend. I'm going to start this morning, got a bit more editing to do, but it is a sunny day ahead. Going to get out and about. Hope you have a wonderful time too. I'll see ya on Monday. Bye now. Bye bye.